You hear the question all the time. Well, the public's ready for it. And you might say, yeah, we're ready for it. But, you know, the question is, we're ready for it only if the context is okay.
Right.
So it's no longer an answer. It's no longer a question that can be answered with, of course we're ready. It's a question that has to be caveated with, why do they want to tell anybody where they got it?
Right.
And now you're dealing with corporations and money. But the other thing is, what is the context of this information? And what I mean by that, okay, so you hear the question all the time. Well, the public's ready for it. And you might say, yeah, we're ready for it. But, you know, the question is, we're ready for it only if the context is okay.
Right.
So it's no longer an answer. It's no longer a question that can be answered with, of course we're ready. It's a question that has to be caveated with, well, it's going to depend on what the implications are.
Yes, you can't know if it's ready unless you know what it is.
Yeah, I mean, if they come out tomorrow and they say, "Oh, hey, there's aliens out there," but you know, they leave us alone, we leave them alone. We don't really know what's going on. We've had brief interactions, but you know, they're very superior to us, and they don't really see us as much. But they're not going to hurt us. And then people are going to go, yeah, we knew of something like that. And they're going to get up the next day and they're going to do largely what they did the day before. But if it comes out, hey, there's aliens out there, we think they might have nefarious plans for us. Hell, we might be being raised for food. Who knows? We don't know, but they're dangerous, so we can't defend against them. That changes your daily life as of now. So the context of disclosure, what it means to how it affects you personally, is really what the societal reaction is going to be.
I'm going to play a guess game with this because I obviously don't know. But when you're sitting across from a guy like Lou and he's saying, I can't talk about this, I can't talk about that, but he has flown out here to this conference on MUFON. He's a part of at the time, growing endeavor called To the Stars, has a family at home. When talking to other people who know him, like James Fox, like good guy, goes about life, you know, does his thing. If he had possession, personally, of information that quite literally defined the meaning of life and perhaps did it on a level where it was the type of stuff that if people found out, the world would riot and humanity would end because we'd figure out that there maybe wasn't a point to it, or like we're all simulated or something like that. I don't know how he would sit there and, like, not to go, like, graphic with it, but I don't know how he wouldn't, like, I don't know how he'd want to live or interact. You know, so when I think about, because he's the one facing the camera, right? We don't know all the guys that aren't facing the camera and what they think and whether they're at the bottom of a whiskey bottle right now. But he, by all intents and purposes, seems to be like a fairly normal guy. I don't know him, but that's just how it comes across. You know, if it were that deep, or if he knew that a secret alien overlord were running the earth from below the sea or something like that, I don't think he'd be able to sit there and have a conversation on camera at the fucking new MUFON conference. You know?
I got to tell you, you haven't seen the whole conversation because we talked about that. And one of the things that he told me, and it's in the interview, the whole interview will see the light of day one day, but I'm being, even though it's my interview, I own it. He agreed to do it. He signed off on it. I still have gotten a lot of resistance.
From who?
From people that represent Lou.
And who are these people? Is it like some secretary, or is it, you know, someone deep throat on the phone?
Media reps. People that have that see him as a valuable piece of intellectual property.
And what did they say to you? And did they call you? Did they show up at your house? Like, how does that?
It's not that clandestine. Basically, when I sold the doc to the distributor, you know, it was originally going to be called the Elizondo tapes, and people that represent Lou came and said, no, you can't even use that interview unless we agree to let you. And I said, well, it's my interview. I'll do whatever I want to with it. And then the distributor came to me and said, well, we understand that it's your interview, but you're going to have to play nice with these guys, or we're not going to buy your movie, and we're not going to release your movie.
What year was that?
This was back when I signed the deal about 2 years ago.
So the movie was originally going to be called the Elizondo tapes.
Yeah, that's what my original contract was. because I have a whole bunch of more stuff that is very, very controversial that's in my interview and within some other information.
So based on this resistance and then the fact that you were getting a lot of other information that wasn't necessarily directly related to that.
I turned the corner with the movie because A, they weren't going to let me call it the Elizondo tapes, and B, that's when I brought in Michio Kaku and Gary Nolan and all these other people to make it bigger than just Lou Elizondo, because if I continued down the track of making it about Lou and making it about the stuff that he told me that you know, to this day is not out, I was going to have a lot of problems getting the film out.
Were you scared of that?
I was very scared, yeah. I've been, the film came out April 18th, 2023. And until midnight on April 17th, before I saw that icon pop up on Amazon Prime, I still was not convinced it was ever going to see the light of day. The story of the beginning of this ordeal of making the film all the way to seeing it out in the public, if making my next film means I have to go through what I've been through for the last 2 years, I don't care if I ever pick up a video camera again, as long as I live. It's been, I can't even describe it. And there's a lot of stuff I just can't even talk about. And there's stuff that even if I did talk about, you'd just think I was crazy.
But you said it's less clandestine than we think. It's pretty straightforward.
That particular element of it was less clandestine, yeah.
What other elements are there? Okay. Fair enough.